Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps Daily Teachings. Before we start, quick disclaimer: anything we discuss is just for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. All right guys, so another huge day in the market with NVIDIA earnings, CRM Snow earnings, so much going around. And then of course we had Netflix hour after hours. Just insane day for trading. A lot of traders outside our community, those who were bullish bias on Nvidia, they were struggling, but we actually killed Nvidia. I mean, if you're watching my videos before, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll show you how to trade Nvidia, how to trade the markets when there's profit taking, when there's sell the news, how to trade the earning setups for life. You can repeat this for your life. Trade yourself. You don't need anybody to handhold you with the teachings that I teach day in day out. And how most of our traders, we had like 18% people read today, but most of those as well turned green later in the day. So most of we had like most of the community pretty green today if you look at. So we will go through all that. We'll see how the traders were killing it in the community today. You could see that how traders are green. So how are traders green when market is selling off? So that's something I teach every day. I show you every day, no hindsight live. So I'm going to show you that, right? So you can learn these setups and you can also trade on your own with my free teachings. Of course, you can join the community if you ever like to. So let's start here. Let's start with the quick introduction. I'm going to do a fast introduction because I'm a little late today. So everything we do is, guys, is a repeatable setup. It's a rule-based repeatable setup. A repeatable system, Ripster Cloud, EMA Cloud system, and my teaching on swing trading, day trading, investing, my technical teachings, my risk management teaching, my psychological teachings, hundreds of concepts that I teach, a lot of concepts I invented myself that are changing thousands of lives. You can see thousands of traders use these teachings in our community, outside our community. You can Google it, you can go to ripstereducation.com. You can really go and see the impact my education has had. So what we do every day, we make a plan. We have bunch of, I make this plan live in the community in front of everyone so they can follow the plan, and I highlight anything which is important. We have initial support level, resistance level, how we are going to use our MTF clouds, our Ripster clouds, how are we going to trade them. I mark everything on my plan. I often tweet this out free as well a few times a week. Then we also have something called day 2 day 3 strategy, another strategy that I invented, which is really helpful for traders being successful. We provide SPY QQQ levels, amazing levels today. If you can pause the screen and see how the market reacted to these QQQ SPY or IWM levels. And we trade futures. We provide the futures levels as well. You can trade with futures with the Ripster Cloud system as well. We trade low floors, we trade IPOs, we trade everything in the market. We have a lot of tools in the community. I have 3-4 stock scanners, option flow scanners, breaking news alerts, order flows, hold unhold alerts, voice news. We have tools over $500-600 a month which are free for the traders to use in the community. Thousands of traders are on our trading floor. I'm usually live. I'm on the voice first few hours of the trading, and my screen is live, guiding the traders through all the setups from our game plan, live real guidance on voice, encouraging my traders to hold their winners, telling them how to manage the trades. And of course I also talk a lot about mentality, psychology, what I have seen in the market, what I have been through. So trying to make sure my traders, I'm guiding, they are safe in the market, they are making the right decisions. Anyways, that was a quick introduction. Let's start with the trade recap. I will show you my timestamp guidance. I'll show you how we traded it. I'll show you the repeatable setup so you can repeat that for life. So before we start, anything we do is repeatable. If you go to Trade Recaps Gallery and Tanner Trade Group, which is a free page there, you will see thousands of the trades over the years that I have guided the traders how to trade. You will see that, and this is what we do every day, right? What we do every day, you will see that all in our recaps here on our trading, in our recap page. So anyways, let's go to a start with SPY QQQ, see what SPY QQQ was doing, what was the plan. I have done many recaps, similar recaps, guys. Simple strategy, one strategy, you're done for the day. VIX strategy. VIX should stay under 18 for us to go long. If VIX pushes over 18, we will short the market. Watch the previous day close, watch the previous day highs. SPY is at all-time high. Bullish to neutral bias, but cautious of chop. Watch the amateur and trend moves, banks, softwares, and semis. So we had a full plan for the market, what we're gonna do. So as soon as the market open, I'm just gonna expand it. I'm gonna show you QQQ right here, and I'm gonna show you SPY or SPX right here. You know, you can trade SPY, SPX with SPY or your ES futures, doesn't really matter. Whatever we teach is applicable, or live guidance is applicable to futures, ES futures, SPX, NASDAQ futures, leverage ETFs, options. You can basically trade with anything, if you want to trade the Ripster Cloud system. So let's keep a VIX down here. And this is what I'm gonna showing you here. We have done it many times, not the first time we're doing it. So let's take a look. So you know the plan. As soon as the market open, I saw that it's dumping on 3450 clouds, jumping on 3450 clouds. I tell the traders amateur short, no longs. Right away I tell the traders it is an amateur short because it's breaking the 3450 cloud. No system like that. And we hit the MTF magnet 1, we hit the MTF magnet 2, we hit the MTF here, we hit the MTF clouds. You can learn more about MTF clouds on ripstereducation.com or watch my other videos. So anyways, if I go through my live guidance, I told the traders to move their stops break even. We are looking for more fade, and VIX, as you see, VIX from 18, you hold till 10 a.m. You see VIX is breaking out of 19, you hold, you see VIX is breaking out 20, you hold, and you can see that I told the traders to cover some of the profits, but we have room, just a 57% ATR. We have a lot of room, and we hit 100%. So I usually tell the traders that if you don't have a target, look for 100% ATR target. Look here, right? So I said room, we're just at 57% ATR, room to 100% ATR target, and that's what my target was. And then and then we bounced from this MTF, and this was the 512 rejection short. I told the traders, you see this rejection, this is the bounce from VIX from 19, rejection at 512, reshorted back here, and you see double bottom bounce, and that's when I told the traders, watch out, VIX is breaking 20, and this was the curl long. So those were 3 trades. First short, bounce short, this curl. This is called a 512 curl short. This is called the opening short. This is called 512 rejection short. Repeatable setups you can repeat all your life, and that's how we did it. That's how the traders were done first hour. Even if you took SPY options, SPX options, literally went 600-700%. $1,000 turned into 6-7-8 grand today. That's how what trades were today in the community. You can see that Navy took 720%, Srinivas 400%, Desai for 10%, Mr. Based 500%, 350%. Those are just the option trade. Of course, you could trade leverage ETFs, SPXL, TTQ. You can actually buy a leverage ETF long, which goes up when the market goes down, like SQQQ, and even if you're a small account, you can make money that way, right? So you see that SQQQ goes up, when QQQ comes down, you buy at 68, you sell at 71, you make $3, you're risking $500, you are making 2-3 grand there, 250%, right? So there's many ways to trade this. Darkstar was up 5% on his total account today. So we do this. So you just need to learn and master the system, and you need to hold a day like this. You just need to hold. You just can't cut your position when a trend trade is there, right? That's what happens. The traders usually, what traders do is, on a choppy day, they give up more, they lose more. But on a trend day like today, even if it's a bearish day, who cares? You as a trader, you should be able to short when market is a short, right? So what did I say the first tweet in the morning? Well, first tweet in the morning, I said bearish start of the market, NVIDIA is short out of the gate. Watch VIX 18. SPY amateur shorts. So you see that it was a short. I tweeted as well. Even if you followed my tweet, even my followers, you did pretty good, because those options went crazy, so I try to guide live in the community. I also try to share on my followers if I can, but that's how we do it. That's how the traders were getting insane, and we do it again and again. It sounds pretty strange that how we are so consistent. It is what it is. Our system is life changing. You're going to go to recap, you can go to our feedback, you can see how traders are actually I'm just saying this because it's not BS, not hindsight. Actually the lives are being changed, and not only the community. If you go to ripstereducation.com, you will see how the lives were changing, right? So that's why I encourage everybody to learn the system. It's free to learn. Change your life like 1,000 others. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to talk about is NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA, our main play today. So NVIDIA, the biggest company in the world, always our first focus today. First focus. If you're a day trader and you're not focusing on NVIDIA today, you are doing something wrong. Most liquid stock, most liquidity, you can size big, get in and out big, options, shares, you could trade leverage ETFs, whatever you want to do, right? So you got to focus. That's why I make it red in my pre-market planning. NVIDIA beats EPS, support level here, resistance here, game plan bounced over 1 hour MTF, long over previous day close or previous day high. No go under. No go under previous day close, previous day high. We had a bullish bias, but we also had a plan no go under, right? So we do not have time to think why it's dumping. You know, traders think, yes, earnings are pretty good. But it's also almost a $5 trillion company. You know, the earnings have been good last quarter, but it didn't go anywhere in the last few quarters. Since July to August, it's stuck in this range. You know, you want to go to a weekly chart. I will show you the weekly chart. It's stuck in this range, up, down, up, down. Yes, it popped up, then came back to that weekly range, up, down, up, down, up, down, until this range breaks. This range is good enough. The earnings are good enough that, you know, it went from 3 trillion, 2 trillion to 5 trillion. But now it's stuck. Market doesn't want to pay it more unless something changes, unless the market environment changes, Fed cut, quantitative easing, something where market can pay it more, because NVIDIA no company can do a better earning than this. You know what NVIDIA did, you know. So this is our Tanner research platform for traders and swing traders and investors. So look at that, you know, EPS growth 82%, revenue growth 73%, expected EPS growth 55%, expected revenue growth 58%. The target price targets are as high as 400, low as 140, median at 275. They have $10 billion cash. Their free cash flow is $96 billion, right? So you see that the valuation of the company is at 4.5 trillion. So the market doesn't really want to value it more than that, but nobody beats this growth. I mean, it was making 26 billion a quarter like a year ago. Like a year and a half ago. Look at now, it's making double that. What it used to make in a year, in a couple of years ago, it's making in a quarter. So that's the kind of the growth NVIDIA has, right? If this company was like a few $1 billion, it would have been already double and triple on today's results. But right now, because of this high valuation here, it's very tough for the market participants to take it further, right? Yes, if long term, we will get the breakouts, but for 7 months we have not gone anywhere, right? You want to be efficient in your investing, unless you buy and forget for like next 6-7 years. You buy at 150 and you open your browser in broker, and after 5 years when it's at $500, right? So that's the thing. But you can't blindly come in, wake up and long it just because you think earning is crazy. Nothing better than that. You have to see everything. The whole environment is market pricing in. Look at a technical system. That's why we have a technical system. That's why you need to follow a technical system. Not a single person did I let get bagged in NVIDIA. So if you see that, right away I told the traders short it. I showed it at 193. I told the traders you short it, and then just hold it from 193 short all the way to 185. Even then it bounced, failed, and went to 184s. I told the traders the target is MTF. This was the first MTF, and that's the next Ripster MTF. And then it rejected 512s, and all day short, nothing else. And if you look at it, I also tweeted about it. So I tweeted as well for my followers that NVIDIA is a short, right? So anybody who followed did pretty good. NVIDIA options, you could trade NVIDIA NVDL, or you could trade NVIDIA options. NVIDIA puts, 190 puts went from like $2 all the way to $5-6, $2,000 to $6,000. That's the trade you could do. You could go long on NVDS, so you could do many things. Buy NVDS, buy puts on NVDL. The point is, nobody was long. Other thing I want to cover on NVIDIA, what NVIDIA did today and what it was doing, similar to what it did last time. So I tweeted about this as well, that it has a personality. Even last time, the investors just sold off amazing earnings. This time sold off the amazing earnings. Last time also I guided the traders and we had an insane day, one of big profitable days, from all the way from 194. You can pause the screen and see my live guidance, and we took it all the way down. Today as well we showed it. Today was a gap down fade. This was a gap and crap. Different systems. Ripster Cloud system, different setups. So you see how consistently we do. It's not a rocket science. It's not I'm a genius. And this is the teachings, the concepts. A trading system that is the most consistent in the trading world. So make sure you learn it, especially if you lost a lot of money going long in NVIDIA at the open. You can always DM me if you need help, but learn this, right? I'm sure you learn this. Nobody in my community lost money on NVIDIA long. If they didn't long it, if they didn't short it, they didn't even lose money on the long side because everybody was short. We didn't have a long bias all day long. We tried a call here, then we got out right away, failed call, and it was a short again. And tomorrow might be a day 2 short, so we'll be watching that as well. Look at these candles. You need to read, guys, the technicals, the fundamentals, the market sentiment. You need to understand all that to trade NVIDIA for a living. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to go a little fast, getting a little late here. Let's take a look at Zoom. So what was the plan on Zoom? Let's go to pre-market planning on Zoom. So Zoom was one of our top plays as well on the earnings. I highlighted as a red as a top play. Ran last earnings, but only long over 82. Watch the pre-market lows, right? So that was the plan. So what happened on the Zoom? As soon as the market opened, it broke down under the pre-market lows. It became a short. You should short it right under the level that I gave you there. So you short it right away. And I said, if you miss the short, watch any pops and you can re-short it. And then right away, short, and it faded. And I was on voice. I was telling traders that it's going to go lower and lower. So you can see when I was on a voice, I told the traders that zoom is heavy, going lower. As I try to be on the voice and tell my traders to short it, and Zoom short, even we were a little late, went all the way from 78, 76, all the way to 73. There was like $5-6 to be made. On Zoom short was a pretty good trade for the community there. Bearish chart has not gone anywhere, has not gone anywhere for a long time. So Zoom was just amazing short, right? Nothing too much to cover there. You just have to follow the Ripster Clouds. All right, so next one I'm going to look at is TTD. Let's see how to look what TTD did. TTD was a similar setup, very important setup. Look carefully at TTD and look carefully at workday. Right, yesterday same setups. You see what happened? Gap down, get back over the clouds, and push towards the MTF magnet, fill this gap, right? Yesterday was a long for us. If you see the yesterday's game planning, workday was a long for us yesterday, and this morning the workday was our, let's take a look here. It was a day 2 setup long over the previous day highs. So you see the gapped up, held the clouds, ran all the way on a day 2 as well, workday. So that was a day 1 long on the fight, on the bounce, gap curls, and day 2 setup. So traders killed it. Similar setup was TTD, right? I didn't do a recap yesterday, but workday, similar setup. You see the similarities between TTD and workday. You see that, right? So all you need to do is when it pushes over this 3450 clouds, you buy long there. You buy long there. Same thing I told traders on workday yesterday. Same thing on TTD. 512 curl versus 21.50. 512 curl versus 21.50. That means you long here, put your stops at 21, right away get in. That's it. If you're willing to lose $500, right? That means at 22 you are buying 500 shares. But by the time we hit 23, you already made that 500. You move the stops break even, and we pushed to 24. You made $1,000 on 500 shares. So that was our long winner. I try to explain that as well here. TTD curl. We call it dead cat bounce. That was a little joke. But we'll be watching tomorrow. Similar setup to workday. What TTD did today. So workday was our day 2. We will discuss our day 2 strategy in a bit. So SNDK was our short today, right? So what was SNDK setup? SNDK was an MTF short. SNDK was an MTF short, right? So that's what I told the traders here. Let me see if I can show you. So I was on the voice. I told the traders, SNDK, do not touch it long. it's a profit taking. It's a short. It's a short. So traders in the community were all over the short, from MTF breakdown from 640s, take it all the way 607. You can trade leverage ETF called SNSX. You risk $500 on this trade, and you could easily make $1,500 on that short, right? You make sure you know how to short. I have a webinar on as well. I have teach a lot on how to do short selling. You must gonna do that. So it was a beautiful trade by day tradesman. He called out the short right at the open, and his first target was 628, was SNDK. Beautiful trade, beautiful guidance by SNDK. I gave the targets to the traders on SNDK, and very good, well done by day tradesman on SNDK short. Very proud of that. Beautiful move. So we had a loser today in the community, that was 4, which actually did give us a short later in the day, but that was too late because we were trying to short in the morning at right here at the drop at 48.50. When it moved over 50, we had to take a loss of almost $2. So let's see how the loss happened. So I told the traders to short it and watch the pops. But I did tell them actually their stops are wide, so watch out the swipes. I did give, when I saw this kind of pushing here, I did give them the warning that we have to watch out the swipes because stops are pretty wide, so reduce your position. But then it bounced and we reduced the position, and when it curled, we took a loss and moved on. So you see, this is when the trade doesn't work, we manage it accordingly. We take a smaller loss. When it works, we do the home run. That was also pre-market planning on 4. Short the pops as long as under 54.55. So the bad thing was, if you didn't short it initially, the second pop didn't really pan out because it went in the chop mode and this sideways action, so didn't work for us. So 4 was our loser for the day. All right, so next one we're going to look at is IONQ and QBTS, 2 quantum computing companies. Let's look at IONQ, then we will also look at QBTS, right? So let's take a look at IONQ first. So IONQ is my main focus. That's why I made it red. I said bullish bias to long as 3160 hold. At QBTS, I told the traders no longer the 2050. What did it do? QBTX faded 2050, no long. You could short under this double MTF. IONQ though was bullish. We gave a 39 stops and IONQ ran all day, right? So you just have to plan in the pre-market. You can pause the previous screen, see how I give a plan based upon the clouds. IONQ actually had a MTF magnet yesterday. From this MTF, that MTF, and this was a pretty good move there on that. All right, so let's go to the next one. Next one we're going to look at is the cybersecurity stocks. Let's look at cybersecurity stocks. So we're going to start with CrowdStrike, right? So CrowdStrike was on our watch today. Why was that? It was an MTF long. CrowdStrike was an MTF long. Whenever these kinds of sell-offs happen, these are opportunities for you to watch. That's why we put these setups on our day 2, day 3 setups. That's why we do it on day 2, day 3 setup. CrowdStrike trade versus 1 hour MTF long. I gave the plan to the traders in the community, and you can see that CrowdStrike MTF longs. Let's look at Palo Alto, another cybersecurity play. What was it? MTF long. Palo Alto MTF long, right? So those were all our day 2 setups, right? CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, they were the day 2 setups because they sold off. Ripster 3450, Ripster 1 hour clouds are giving you long. Look at this power of Ripster 1 hour clouds, guys. Anytime we push over the Ripster 1 hour clouds, look at these moves. These are a cheat code indicators that I created. The system works. You see, yesterday we rejected the 1 hour clouds. Today we went boom over the 1 hour clouds. Amazing trades on Ripster MTF clouds. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Circle. So, there was too many plays today, guys. It's just insane. I just wanted to tell you that Circle was our day 2 setup. Every day I go through my day 2 sheet. I try to put something which can move right at the top. I put Circle at the top for the traders. A lot of traders took it Circle in the community. I don't even have to tell them. My traders are already long on that Circle thing. Day 2 long. Texas one watching it, and you see that it swiped down. Get long right when it pulls over the pre-market high. Right here you get long. Yesterday high, pre-market high. That's the day 2 strategy. Big mover. If it pushes over yesterday highs, pre-market highs, you put your stops under the clouds, take it long. And Circle ran all the way to 90 bucks. Was a big home run for us yesterday. I talked about this 512 reclaim and big home run today, right? Day to stress-free setups. So that was thing. It's that you gotta watch it, right? So Hood was a day two, but it was, you know, it was a little choppy. Kava was a day two short, right? Never gave a long, so you take a short here on this 10-minute candle. So there's, you know, CrowdStrike, PL, all those were the day two setups that you gotta watch there, right? All right, so let's see if what else was happening there. So we can take a look at let's take a look here. So we can take a look. There were many earning plays today. There was TGTX, which was curl in the morning. I talked a little bit about that. Was also in our pre-market game plan. There was Baidu, which was a short. My pre-market bias on Baidu was bearish bias to short, and you could see that it faded. All you had to take the short there, right? So that those were our plays here. Newton X was a gap and crab. I mentioned it as a gap and crabbed all day, and then went into the sideways mode. So let's talk about let's wrap up the video with one of our big winners after hours, and let's talk about that. So Netflix, what I noticed was a few days ago, let me go to the daily chart, no, not even daily chart, let's go straight on the 1 hour chart here. The few days ago, I noticed that Netflix is turning over the 1 hour Ripster Clouds. I noticed this, that's turning over 1 hour Ripster Clouds. Then I noticed something else, you know, this is how you analyze a trade. It's making a base, up, down, this is a base. 75 becomes a base. Look at this volume right here, big volume becomes the base. And that's when I told my traders that Netflix is a good swing. It's not just technical. Already we were hearing about that. There's the Warner Brothers, Paramount is you know, going to offer more for Warner Brothers, and that's why I tweeted. So I tweeted about it. Let's take a look here. So that's why I tweeted the same base we talked about. And this was after that, right? We were already, traders were long because the 1 hour was the first one to turn bullish. So I said the base is breaking out. If the Paramount buys Warner Brothers, it's going to be great for Netflix. Netflix is going to rip right back to 100. That's what I said. It was good long-term play, right? Even if you missed that good entry, we were long here at 1 hour. You could also long that, you know, you could also long this. You could also long this breakout. Even if you risk $5 here, you already made twice your risk, right? The bottom is in. Even if Netflix was going to do something, you know, the bottom is in. So that was not hindsight. That was on February 25th. That was a base breakout. What happened today? Let's take a look. You know, the Warner Brothers comes in. I tweeted about it this morning, and the same thing. This after the close, the Warner Brothers, the Paramount Warner Brothers says they love the Paramount's better deal, right? So that way we took a long in the community, and you know, and I told them that if Paramount comes in, Netflix is gonna rip. And what did Netflix say? Even if Netflix said, "Oh, we're gonna give a bigger." You know, bigger price, doesn't matter. Netflix is already beaten down for that. The bottom is already in, the base is already there. And guess what Netflix said? They're out of the race. And boom, back we go to the 94, you know, 86 to 94, $100 to 800, 1,000 to 8 grand. And no hindsight as always. My traders were already banking on it, because I have been banking on Netflix, not just randomly, because there was a technical setup, the base, there was a catalyst, you know, and there was a Ripster MTF Clouds that we used to trade it, both swing trade and day trade. And it's not that I just gave it to the community, I also tweeted about it. So no hindsight. So hopefully you guys did good. So there's going to be many opportunities like this. That's how you find swing trades. You look at your charts, you know, you look at what the chart is doing, you know, the daily chart is doing, see if how Netflix is, you know, base turning this downtrend line, getting a Ripster Clouds, making a base, perfect setup, defined risk. That's how you do swing trading. That's how you invest with the defined risk levels. This is going to be, we're going to cover a lot of these setups in our tenet research as well. Keep learning. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.